Okay, girls, this season of Pose, episodes 5 and 6, we're gonna rush right through them. If you want a more in-depth recap, a little more of what I thought about it, go to the Twitter. Everybody's voguing down. Damien has to add another class to his voguings. A scout recruits him to dance for Madonna's Blonde Ambitions tour. Ricky also has been recruited. I don't know where they found Ricky, but he was also recruited. And we see the difference between Blanca and Elektra and their parenting styles, and how Blanca is encouraging and Elektra is just like, girl, win or don't come home. We actually didn't see the aftermath of whatever. Blanca tells Damien to go and meet with the legendary Helena St. Rogers to get permission to even audition for the tour, join the tour and all of that. And Helena's like, yeah, girl, go ahead. And then we find that both Blanca and Elektra have the idea to give them makeovers. Elektra asks Ricky if he still carries a torch for Damon, and he's like, no, Damon is ancient history. But it's a lie. And Elektra says, beat him like he stole something, basically. So we get to the audition, and they're playing Deep in Vogue, which I haven't heard in Lord knows how long, but they used to be my jam. I think I was like 2 or 3 dancing to that. They used to be my jam. Damon and Ricky just happen to be in the same group of dancers, and they dance, and long story short, they both get a call back, and so does this other guy. We never caught his name, but he was also a really good dancer. I thought at this moment they would have to battle each other, like on camera, but they never showed the, the callback battle. But we did see them battle at the ballroom. They were doing Butch Queen Vogue Femme, which, seeing Ricky attempt to Vogue Femme just does not speak to me. It doesn't speak to me. That's not his ministry. But the Butch Queen aspect of it, I will allow. We find out that Ricky's been sleeping with the boy from who was it? Was it Albie Shore? Albie Shore, from the Albie Shore tour. But they done broke up. And Blanca, God, I keep saying Blanca, not Evangelista either. Elektra decides to desecrate Candy's memory, and it made me nauseous to hear her say, we're going to take this into our own hands, and what would Candy do? And she decides that Candy would break Damon's foot. We never saw Candy do anything with that hammer unless she felt provoked or she felt threatened. And threatened being somebody is dragging her, boots. We never saw Candy be at the competition, in the category, and somebody's doing better than her, and she threatened their life or threatened them with the hammer. We never saw that. We saw her threaten Pray Tell when he was dragging her. We saw her threaten the judges when they were dragging her. We saw her threaten Elektra when she was dragging her. We never saw Candy threaten to hammer anyone that just was minding their business. So I really felt like the writers and, through Elektra, desecrated Candy's memory with that. I really didn't care for that. Let's see. So the category was runway, old school, black and white cinema. And it was cool. Everybody was giving that, black and white, top hats and painted their faces gray, and all of it. Who was that did that at the RuPaul's Drag Race reunion? It wasn't Raven. Who was that? Somebody will know. Y'all comment below. Cause I can't remember right now. But one of the twins, honey, the House Hopping twins, tells, and I'm sorry for this glare in my glasses. I guess I could do like this, but I can't see. I can't see my notes, but I can just bring them on up here. One of the House Hopping twins tells Angel and Poppy about the plan to break Damon's foot, and they go and tell Blanca. And Blanca goes out there and threatens Elektra's life. And Elektra then decides that she's not going to break Damon's foot. And I'm just like, is she really that much of a wuss? She really that scared of Blanca? Like, if you've decided to break this boy's foot, break his foot. You big and you bad. Blanca is tender-hearted. She ain't gonna hurt you for real. See, that's what I don't like about Elektra. She be doing all this big and bad stuff until Blanca calls her out and says, hey, don't do that. And then it's like, well, I guess I won't do that. Like, girl, just don't do it to begin with. Let me see. I wrote on here, I need to know about Elektra's childhood. I do. I need to know what went on. What's going on? Why is she so this way? Angel and Poppy find themselves flirting at the bar. And we find out that Angel got another Wet n Wild campaign. Good for her. And now we're doing Butch Queen Vogue Femme. And some young man with a perm vogues down. I think he did well. And then Damon vogued. I think he did well as well. And then Ricky got up there and he was really giving you Butch Queen, not as much Vogue Femme. The only femme he was giving was when he was doing the, the fake titty thing that the children do when they're voguing. Or even, when the trans girls are voguing and they actually have titties, then they do it as well. But I don't know. The whole category it fell flat for me. It was 1990, so nobody was really doing the acrobatics that they do today. And I guess I'm speaking from the standpoint of someone who has been watching Vogue of the 2000s, so it's different. But Damon won. I guess it would have been a tie, except the judges don't like Elektra, so they gave Ricky a bunch of 10s and a 9 instead of 10s across the board. At some point, Damon goes and tells Ricky that he did better than Damon out there on the floor. And I said, I just don't think so. I just don't. I mean, unless we're really, really taking a lot of, putting a lot of weight on the Butch Queen aspect and not the Vogue, not the Vogue Femme. But whatever. Let's see. Damon asked Ricky to stop drinking, and I was like, I don't remember Ricky having like a drinking problem. Like, he's a little bit drunk in this moment, but I don't remember him just being sloppy drunk all the time. But maybe I'm forgetting. We find out that neither boy made it onto Madonna's tour, and this is where I'm trying to figure out, like, Elektra said he getting kicked out if he don't make it on the tour. Is he kicked out? Somebody call me back. But the recruiter says that they need to audition for the reboot of Solid Gold, and they're going to be Solid Gold dancers, if they make it onto the show. And they make it onto the show, but it's just a pilot. They shoot the pilot with some other lady, and then they part ways. And basically, Ricky says, I want that old thing back, and Damon says, let's just be friends, and that's the episode. So I'm gonna move on to episode 6. Come on now, don't act like that. Why you gotta act like that? Okay, the category is Back to the Future. A man comes dressed in tinfoil. There was another African alien situation going on, and then somebody just came in some MC Hammer pants, and I was like, it felt like carrying on Candy's memory, but it should have been Candy out there with her category dyslexia. Anyway, Pray Tell is not doing well. Things are kind of echoing and shifting and giving you that woo cinematography. And then he drops to the floor. Drops right onto the floor. And we find out that his platelets are screwed up, and he ain't had a good bowel movement, and he's bleeding internally, and he's just bruised all up. And I'm like, oh no. And we find out that is because of the AZT that he didn't want to go on. And so now he's upset. Blanca feels bad because she, pretty much goaded him to, take the medicine. I'm doing all right. In the meantime, Patti LuPone is back. And, she kind of wants Blanca out of we all know she wants Blanca out of the building. But she's playing nice about it. I'll call y'all back at the end of the episode for that. In the meantime, Pray Tell has a roommate that looks like Reginald VelJohnson. But Pray Tell kept calling him, a queen, and he says, I am a college-educated man, not a queen. I'm like, you could be both. I know plenty I went to college with queens. I know queens that have been to college, queens that are in college today. If you go down to Morehouse right now, see, I didn't have to do that. But I did. And I'm sorry if I'm not in frame. I can't see the camera at all. I can kind of see my image, but not very well. So Eddie Winslow, Reginald VelJohnson over there, has a little taste of pneumonia, and Lord, if he don't start choking in the middle of the night, and he wheezing and carrying on, and Pray Tell calls for the nurse, and he's screaming and trying to tell him to get that AZT out of him, and they sedate Pray Tell because they can't really get to the man because Pray Tell's all up on the man. And we hear the thing flatline. So Reginald Vale Johnson has gone to glory. He's gone to glory. And in the meantime, we see Pray Tell wake up. And Candy's ghost done sent him some flowers and cards saying, hurry up and die, girl, so we can, get together down here in hell. Hurry up and die. Come on down to hell with me, sis. Having a good time. Really miss you. And it bothered me for several reasons. It bothered me because the show feels like it's painting the picture that everybody that has died of AIDS has gone to hell. And I just refuse to believe it. It also paints the picture that Candy, even though she and Pray Tell had that love-hate relationship, would want her friend/enemy to come down to hell with her. It also paints the picture that Candy was looking forward to being in hell. All of these things bother me. Aside from just steady seeing the ghost of Candy giving us more fever than the living Candy ever did. It bothered me. It sure did. And then we find out, all after death, that Candy had AIDS, because she's like, yes, I'm down here with Liberace and Alvin Ailey and blah, blah, blah. And Pray Tell was like, well, why are you surrounded by, all these people who died of AIDS? And Candy's like, well, I'm just around people who understand me. And Pray Tell says, did you have AIDS? And Candy says, I didn't tell nobody. Girl. So you people, the writers have made Candy a bitter, angry, weapon-toting, dark-skinned stripper/hooker who had AIDS and was murdered. That's what y'all did for Candy. Okay. I've been sorely disappointed this season. I really have. I'm pushing through because y'all keep asking me to do the show, but I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. Not only the show was expected to bring awareness to AIDS. Last season it brought some awareness to AIDS and the pandemic. This season, y'all just threw a little AIDS on Candy. She dead, it's okay, just throw a little AIDS on, it's fine. It's just not coming together for me. It's not unifying. It's not holy and acceptable unto me or unto the Lord. It's just not. Then we find out, because Candy disappears, and Pray Tell's dad is sitting on the end of his bed humming a song. And we find out that this is actually his stepfather, and that his stepfather was raping him. And here we go. Here we go again with these narratives. Here we go again. What are we trying to shine a light on exactly? What are we doing here? Last season felt so positive, and it felt like, okay, these are the issues, but we're still here, we're still fighting, we're still having a good time. This season is like trash. I feel like it's trash. It feels like baboo to me. It really does. It feels like they're just throwing a whole bunch of issues on a whole bunch of people and just hoping it sticks and hoping y'all enjoy it. And I'm gonna move on. Costas, as we remember from last season, is Pray Tell's, he was his boyfriend, but he passed away from AIDS. He is here as well, and we're going to go to the ghostly cabaret. And Pray Tell goes, he puts on his little top hat and, a little suit jacket with a train, and he goes and he sings down to the ghosts of people who have passed away from AIDS. And I'm like, okay, this show has got far too many ghosts. Far too many. Ghost Whisperer went off the air a long time ago. It really did. Ghost Whisperer has been off the air. Supernatural don't come on this channel. All this with these ghosts. Scooby-Doo don't come on no more, I don't think. If it does, honey, it's for the children. And people watching this show don't watch that show. Ghostbusters, we've done the movie and the remake at this point. We don't have to do these ghosts, but we're at this ghostly cabaret, and the children are just enjoying the ghostly vocals of the not dead Pray Tell. Anyway, among the land of the living, Blanca is trying to get the living cabaret together for the children. And her children are in there being children, being loud and talking about hair and makeup and this and that and all these things. And Blanca has had it. So she slams down on the table and she gets up and she bursts into the children's bedroom and says, "Can y'all be quiet? Can y'all clean up the house? Can y'all do something else?" And they like, sorry, but Angel got a new campaign, you know, and we're just excited for her. And Blanca's like, "Girl, congratulations to you. So proud of you. We knew you could do it, but I'm trying to put this cabaret together. And it's already hard enough with my dyslexia. And I'm trying to, Johnny Mathis has not called back. Like, I'm trying to get I'm booking gigs. I'm struggling here." And Angel gives her a hug, and the boys say they're sorry. Poppy says he's sorry to hear about her dyslexia. I screamed. And then as they're walking out, they're like, "What is this? I don't know what dyslexia is. What is dyslexia?" Oh, good times. Anywho, we find out that Blanca feels bad for telling Pray Tell to take the medicine, and Angel says, "Don't feel bad, because that's all that there is. He had to try it. Now we know it ain't for him, but, you know, we'll figure something else out." And they better, because if Pray Tell dies, it's over for me. In the meantime, we're at the cabaret, and we find out that Pray Tell is not coming to the show because he's mad at Blanca. And Blanca says, "Girl, I was doing what I thought was best for you." Basically repeating what Angel told her. And, you know, they kind of have a moment of upsetness, and Pray Tell got his arms all crossed like a baby, and they fighting like sisters. And then Blanca says, "Put on some, change your clothes and put on some cologne and come on out here to the cabaret with the rest of the children. Now we're having a good time. You come on. It starts in 10 minutes. And she just kind of storms out, and he's like, "Excuse me," you know. And we move on to the show. Sandra Bernhard opens the show, and I've been waiting for her to sing. I've been waiting this season for her to sing. And finally we got her to sing. Now, she had on this green dress that I didn't really like, but I don't really care for the color green, so that explains a lot of that. Ricky Damon and Lulu are singing background, and I just, for some reason, it made me holler. And then we get the legendary Patti LuPone. She gets up there and she gives Blanca a little piece of money for the AIDS benefit. And I'm like, did we establish where this money is going? Is it going back to the hospital? Where the money gonna go? Is it going to Blanca to get some medicine? Like, what's tea? Not my business. Then Patti LuPone gets up there and she sings down, as Patti LuPone has been known to do. She tells a little anecdote about how she used to want to be Liza Minnelli, and she did this and that and this in the same vein as Liza. And then she sings, and the children are just like, "What?" Blanca was shocked. She didn't know, had no idea. Patti sang, okay. And then after she gets done singing, Blanca is like, "Wow, that was amazing." And Patty's like, "Yes, thank you. I need to go take a phone call, but I will be right back, I promise." And she goes to the hall, and she's on the phone with her son. And her son is in the process of unsquatting Blanca, taking all of her things out and boarding up the walls and the windows and such which. And why did they have to wait until the night of the cabaret for this? Blanca go home every night. Every night. Why y'all? It was so weird to me. It's like, I fully expected when Blanca said she was going to squat for the next day, her to come back and it just be boarded up. But no, y'all didn't let her get comfortable and settled in and go into the cabaret. And then she has to come home to come to the salon to this. I didn't care for it. Electra gets up there and she sings, baby, and it was flat. I don't think I've ever heard singing that flat, but it was flat, Jesus. But I was very shocked that she was singing for a cause. I was very shocked and confused. I had to sneeze. Do excuse me. So Blanca gets up there and she announces that she has the virus. And, I'm not saying that for your pity. I'm just saying that because I want you to see that AIDS looks like me. It looks like you. It looks like all of us. And everybody that didn't know was just sitting out there like, what? Even Electra is just like, I can't, no, not my baby. Electra gave a not my baby type of look. And I was like, I really don't want Electra to be evil all the time. I really don't. Anyway, she starts singing a little Stevie Wonder, a little Stevland Morris. And while she's singing, Pray Tell comes and sits down and is watching. And when Blanca notices that Pray Tell is there, says, "Come on up, come sing." And Pray Tell's like, "I'm okay." Very me. Very me. I've been plenty of places and the girls are like, do you want to sing a little, you want to have a song? And I'm like, no, thank you. I appreciate it though. But unlike me, Pray Tell eventually gets up and they duet, they sing a little bit, and it was beautiful. It was truly beautiful. The crowd was living, everybody was having a great time. In the meantime, after the function, Patty asks Blanca to, let's have dessert or whatever. And Blanca says, well, if you paying, I want a 3-course meal. And I'm like, that's right. Absolutely. Absolutely, Miss Blanca. Except we know that she's trying to keep her out so that she can board up and take out all this stuff. Now, Blanca offered to, let's go back to my salon, I'll give you a free mani-pedi. Because Blanca's a pure person with a decent heart. But Patty says, no, we're gonna go get something to eat, and that keeps her out of the salon and keeps everybody, stealing her things. Pray Tell is home, he's having dinner with his family, the Evangelistas. And, everything is almost back to normal. It feels very, very similar to normal. And the next day we see Blanca go over to the salon and see that it's boarded up, and she's angry. So now they're going to protest. So it's a couple of them. It's, the House of Evangelista out there protesting with their signs, Patty LuPone is dirty, or whatever they were saying, girl. Frederica is a thief. I don't know. And Pray Tell has corralled the community. I mean, all the other houses, well, not all of them, but a bunch of people from the other houses, Lulu and the girls, and even Electra comes out, and they're all protesting Frederica Patty LuPone. And Electra's excuse is that the world needs to see my outfit. And I'm like, I mean, you've worn better outfits, but I guess, girl, anything to get you here. And Frederica and her son pull up in their limousine and they look out the window, and Patty LuPone, Frederica's like, oh, doggone it. And pretty much that's that. The very last thing we see is Pray Tell is back at home, and Candy is in his house. Still, I forgot to mention that when Pray was in the hospital, Candy tried to convince him to take some pills and kill himself. Candy is at his house now saying, come on, die, girl. I'm gonna haunt you till you do. And Pray Tell says, I'm gonna fight. So I don't know what they're doing with Candy. I hate it so much. I hate it. But I'm gonna try to watch this latest episode and get it to you eventually, girl. Like, comment, subscribe, and all the things the YouTubers say, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.